Hey, welcome to the With So Much Love E&O podcast.
Hello,
with
hello.
your host. Just
Hello.
kidding. I guess, are we the hosts?
I don't know what we are.
I don't know. I know you're the hostess with the mostest. Earl and Oneka here. We are starting this podcast off once again with the drinking of water, our last podcast we
That's
did.
true.
And I said something really morbid on that last one. I'm not going to say it this one,
No,
but
yeah.
that was weird.
We might want to edit that out.
I don't know. Do we need to? Because
I don't know.
sometimes you just say weird stuff. But regardless, we love all of y'all a ton.
Irregardless, just kidding.
Not a word.
I know. I just wanted to say it. I just wanted to say it.
Love y'all so much. Excited about today and spending these moments together.
For sure.
What you got going on, Big O?
Well, I think we should talk.
What you got happen? What you got
I
happening?
think we should talk a little bit about relationships.
I love
Because,
that. I love that. Let's talk about the process.
What do you mean? Go for it. I didn't know where we're going. I don't know where
I'm
you're going
throwing
right
out.
there,
I
but
just want to say every relationship requires process.
it does require process.
Every single one. If you want a healthy, strong, life-giving relationship, you got to be willing to go through the process.
Yeah.
And I think so many people are wanting a marriage that
An Instagram marriage.
Yeah, it mirrors, or a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, or a guy or a girl that mirrors a 50-year-old marriage when you've only known each other for 50 minutes.
Right.
And the reality is, even if you get connected with a person that is like, oh my gosh, this is my soulmate. We finish each other's sentences. You know how we do, all this stuff. It's still going to require process,
For sure.
work, development for the two of you.
Dying.
Yes, to really get on the same page.
Yeah.
And then when you start adding in new seasons, talk about that for a second. What was it like, when we were dating, as compared to then when we get engaged, then get engaged, then when we're married, then married to one kid. Like each of those, 1 kid to 2 kids, 2 kids to 3 kids, moving cities, moving jobs. There's a lot of dynamics in there, a lot of gaps that can create problems, issues, concerns, divisions in a relationship. What are some of your thoughts on that?
Well, I remembered I was a part of a leadership talk that you were doing recently, and you were talking about how weddings are so amazing and how they're just epic, and
Love
everyone's so creative with it's a whole experience now. Weddings are they're magic, they're beautiful, they're epic as they should be. It's this life moment with you and the love of your life.
I was at this one wedding. It was so cool. They had, think of a big green wall. Okay. A wall filled of greenery. Let's say it's 10 feet tall, 10 feet tall. It is butted up against a wall.
Okay.
You walk up to it, you ring a bell. So it's just all this greenery, like all this ivy. You ring the bell that's hanging from the ivy.
Okay, I'm tracking.
When you ring the bell, white gloved hands come out of the ivy.
Okay.
All you see are hands
What do
that
the
come
hands
out,
symbolize?
and they have your champagne in your hand. So you grab your glass of champagne from this ivy, this hand that comes through the ivy, but you don't see the face, you don't see the person, you see a hand with like this beautiful glove on it.
Yeah.
That was at a wedding.
Yeah. So
that's dope.
People aren't playing. I love it. It's just a great way to express your creativity, your future spouse's creativity, and there's all your family and friends coming together, and it's a big party.
It's like when we had cheese and fruit at our wedding.
Yes, we did. We were on a budget.
We were on a budget. We got married at 11 o'clock.
Though.
It was beautiful.
It was really pretty.
We got married at 11 o'clock.
But we didn't get to do the sit-down dinner with all the courses.
No,
we did it at 11, so then we didn't have to feed everybody.
That
is a trick. That is a trick if you don't have a big budget.
Yeah.
Do it at 11. Then you do appetizers, and it's still fresh. You're like apps, finger foods.
Or Chick-fil-A sandwiches, get nuggets. Can you not do that?
Do that?
Why not?
I mean, if that's your thing, if that is your thing, you
just
do
can't
a
do it on
Chick-fil-A
Sunday.
wedding.
You just can't do it on Sunday.
Right, because they're closed. Closed on Sunday. But all that to say, weddings.
And you're my Chick-fil-A.
I love it. Weddings are epic, huge. They're so fun to plan. You spend hours, you're researching, you're meeting with planners, you're thinking about flowers, dresses, tablecloths, linens. Do you want like a heavy linen? And then for the invitation, do you want like heavy cardstock, thin cardstock? Do you want everything digital? And it is a process, but it's an exciting, exhilarating process. But what happens is once you get married, when you have these two worlds coming together, it doesn't feel like planning a wedding.
No, you're spending all that time. Your point is you're spending all that time on the ceremony. Yeah. But how much time are you spending on your soul?
Exactly.
Oh, let's say that again. But honestly, you're spending all this time.
There's such a disappointment.
There is.
In that you come off this party, you come off this honeymoon.
Yeah.
And then you have to learn how do you bring up something. How do you share that my feelings were hurt?
Conflict resolution.
How do you share that I hate the way you do that? Like, how do you share that? But that's a real thing in relationships. Yeah. I hate the way you do that. Like, how do you share that without making someone feel like they're a failure? Without them
hearing you hate me.
Yes, and without them hearing you don't believe in them. Yeah. Without you triggering them from past relationships. So you have to learn that, which is like walking around a minefield. Yeah. You have to learn that it can't always be your way.
That's right.
That's a whole thing right there.
Yeah.
You have to learn that the person that you fell in love with, they will change.
They develop. They should be developing and growing. That's right.
They change for the better, but then they also change. Yeah. Then you have to learn the new them. Yeah. So all that to say, relationships are amazing. They're magical, but there is, like you said, this process that's different from the dance floor, different from the outfit change. Oh, yeah. Different from all the friends from all over, which is epic.
All the outfit change, when you're on the dance floor.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yes.
I caught that.
Yes, there are so many fun moments, but I think sometimes people get depressed in their relationships because they think it's supposed to be all fun moments.
I think it's all a party. And it's not just all party.
Yeah, I mean,
it's more process than just party.
And we have a blast together.
Well, we love it. Yeah, we love being married.
We have a blast together, but we also have intense conversations.
That's right.
We also hurt each other's feelings. Mm-hmm. We also frustrate each other. Yep. We also get in disagreements.
Preach.
Yeah, just kidding. We have to. We have to apologize to each other.
That's right.
I have to be better at hearing you out because sometimes I'm ready to just move on to the next thing and not have a long conversation about something. Mm-hmm. I feel that. And you like to process it more. Mm-hmm. I like to just say, I'm sorry, because I am evolving and I'm getting better with that.
You are.
But I do like to move on rather quickly. Mm-hmm. And so that's something that I'm working on in our relationship. But
except when you want to share all of your words and your feelings.
True, yeah.
Then you don't want to move on quickly.
And that's the thing.
Because I'm ready to move on quickly, but you're not ready to move on quickly.
And the funny thing about us is, so I like to just to let y'all into our relationship. You're welcome. We've been married 25 years, but we're still growing. We're still evolving. Yep. We're still making mistakes, but we're trying to get better.
Who do you think needs to grow more? Just kidding.
Yeah, I'm not going to answer that.
I'm saying me.
Okay, I'm not going to answer that. But I was just going to say.
Okay, well, you're supposed to say, I think it's me.
Oh, I think it's me.
That's how that works.
I think it's me. But I was going to say that I do like to move on. Mm-hmm. But also, on that same hand, it's funny. It's like I wear two different hats. I do like to move on. I'm like, I'm sorry. Can we just move on?
Again, when that's me. When it's me.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And then for me, which is also a double standard, I'm just telling on myself, I like to make sure you understand where I'm coming from.
Yep, and you'll drill in over and over.
But then when he wants me to understand where he's coming from, I'm like, I already said I'm sorry. Can we just move on now?
Thank you for saying this.
Yeah,
this is the first time she's ever admitted this in our marriage.
This is therapy for us. You're helping us to be better. But I think what makes our marriage work, because someone was asking us that the other day, like what makes your marriage work? Yeah. It was Jeff and Amy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jeff and Amy. Yep. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff and Amy Smith.
Love them.
We love them. But we were saying, I think it's because we apologize to each other, right?
Yep.
We are constantly apologizing.
Yeah, we were talking about we apologize, but also we
don't take ourselves seriously.
Yeah, don't take ourselves too seriously. I think there's a humility that's necessary for any relationship to really be able to flourish the way you want it to.
It's a process.
When you have a lot of pride in a relationship, whether that's a basketball team, football team, business partner, siblings, husband and wife, whatever, roommates, when there's a ton of pride, it's very, very difficult for people to get on the same page.
Exactly.
Because nobody wants to...
Because you have to admit you're wrong.
Yeah, or you have to apologize. You have to, acquiesce to someone else. On the basketball court the other day, I didn't tell you this, there's a board you sign your name up on, and that's how we do it. We don't pick teams at this gym. You got to sign your name, so hopefully you can call ahead, get your name on the board. And somehow these two dudes thought they should be on the court. So there were 6 people on one team, 5 people on the other team, but these 2 dudes were like, no, I'm supposed to be on here. Okay. And it got real. No one threw hands. I was there trying to help, but, on the periphery, I'm not trying to get in the middle of it because I don't want somebody throwing a blow and then me getting hit accidentally, and I got to explain that to my wife. But, I'm on the outskirts. It's like, hey, fellas, come on, let's get this right. But there was not a lot of humility in that moment.
Right.
So both of them, here they are standing their ground, slowing up the game, not just their game, but all 20 of us who are waiting to play the next games.
That'll preach.
We now can't get on the court. We don't get to start because these two guys, neither one of them want to be humble. They both, and I get it too, I don't want to sit out, but they're going back and forth. The gridlock, the traffic jam that is. That's what happens on so many marriages, dating relationships. Somebody has to be the big person and say, let me wash the feet here, okay? Even though I feel I'm right, I feel like the environment, the atmosphere of a relationship is wrong. So what can I do to fix the atmosphere? So hopefully
and you have to
can now...
And you have to love the atmosphere more than you love your point.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's the hardest part because you feel justified in being upset. Well, because you are upset.
Yeah.
But then how do you humble yourself while also being upset? Because you almost feel like, how can I be humble when I was wronged? And so that's what happens in relationships is both couples feel like they were wrong and then both people are not being humble. And then there's no breakthrough. There's no coming together.
Totally agree.
There's no unity. But I think when you start, when you both come into the situation that you're facing with, I need Jesus, I can't do this without him, I do make mistakes, I still have to grow. I think that helps.
That's harder for some people to admit, though.
I know.
It's
hard for people to even admit that they're wrong.
Yeah, it's difficult too.
It's very hard. I think we should talk on that for a little bit longer because I think we're talking to a lot of our friends right now. Like, you guys are probably like, that's me. It's hard for me to admit that I'm wrong.
I also will say this, talking about the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Husbands are called to love their wives as Christ loves the church. Jesus was always right. I'm not saying the husbands are always right. I'm just talking about how Jesus loved the church. Is he actually humbled himself, became obedient to death, even death on the cross. He did this before we could even ask forgiveness for the sins that we were creating, we were doing. Put another way, while we're still sinners, Christ died for us. My whole point with that is, if husbands are to love their wives as Christ loves the church,
I keep eating my hair.
No problem. That means we're not even, this is hard. What I'm about to say is difficult. We're not waiting for our wives to apologize for us to be humble.
That's good.
We actually humble ourselves first.
Wow.
And that is what invites in any repentance that might need to happen.
Good preaching right there. Good leadership.
Now,
good wisdom, good example.
I'm talking to the husbands, obviously, right now. I do think that works for wives as well. I think that totally works. But when men hear I'm the head of my house, that's what head of house means to me. I think biblically,
so it doesn't
that's
mean
the
Lord
picture.
Over.
Exactly. It doesn't mean everything I say goes at any point in time and everybody better listen to me and bow down to me. I don't think that's what that means. We're called to love our wives as Christ loves the church. So, you've talked about this and you've joked about it in the past, how, you don't apologize. You were explaining.
Well,
you used to.
Yeah.
I was just talking about how you used to.
And I'm going to correct that a little bit.
Okay, tell me.
I did apologize. I just would like to over-explain myself. I never apologized.
Oh, no. I don't mean to paint the picture you never apologized.
Okay.
I'm trying to use your words. How that was a little bit harder for you. You feel like if I'm apologizing, that I'm admitting I did something wrong, but my intention was not to do something wrong.
Right.
So I'm more apologizing for how you feel, but not really for what I did, because what I did, I didn't really mean it. So that was kind of the spirit of it. I think you're pure in what you're saying, but with all that being said, if I want you to apologize, and now I'm getting frustrated, and the atmosphere in the home, I know is getting tense.
Exactly.
Many times I decided I'm going to wait for you to apologize before I fight for the atmosphere of our home to be right. And I'm saying I was going about that the wrong way. I'm not loving you like Christ loves the church at that point in time. I'm loving you like I want you to love, and I want to be loved, and I want this thing, but it's not Jesus-centered, Jesus-driven.
Right.
So husbands, friends, you got to care for the atmosphere. Be willing to make things right. Doesn't mean if it's a friendship, the relationship might not be back to where it was. Things might need to change.
True.
But I do think this is part of that. You have a hard time admitting what I'm wrong. Maybe those who have an easier time admitting they're wrong have to be the ones to help set the atmosphere right by being humble. And then that can open the door to go, okay, I see that humility. That's not something for me to pounce on, jump on, and crush. Because if you do that, you'll actually end up pushing that person away, eventually. But that's something for me to respond to in kind.
Beautiful.
So hopefully both of us can figuratively, maybe sometimes literally, but at least figuratively, metaphorically, be on our knees as we're talking to each other. Not both of us trying to stand on tables and talk down to one another.
And that's very difficult, especially today, because everyone is told, be strong, stay strong, don't lose your edge, like stay tough, don't let anyone dull you down, don't let anyone dumb you down. You have a voice, use your voice, don't give your power away. And so it is unique.
It is.
To filter through.
And there's been so much abuse and so many people hurt. Yeah.
So it is within context of a healthy,
For sure.
non-abusive, non-physical, non-demeaning relationship. That's what all these tools are for. These tools are not for if you're in a toxic relationship that's dark, where you're being hit, God forbid, or verbally abused or not safe.
This is not for that.
You don't have to humble yourself if you're not safe. If you're not safe, you better run.
Yeah, get out.
And you got to go get help. And tell a leader in your life that
Get
you
out
trust,
like the movie.
And go.
Yeah, that's right.
Go. Yeah, like the movie. Watch the movie Get Out. Do that same thing and run.
Run. Where are my keys? Give me my keys. Give me my keys.
Just like that movie.
Get out.
If you've seen Get Out, you know what he means by the give me my keys.
But give me my keys.
Yes, that's what you got to do. Yeah. That was an intense scene.
That was an intense scene. Yeah. It wasn't originally in the script either.
Yeah.
So that was cool. I saw that on
Get Out. Everything we said the last 20 minutes,
it might not be for you if you're in that type of relationship.
If you're in that type of relationship, run.
Now,
like Forrest.
But I prayerfully,
Forrest
that's
Gump, it's an old movie.
That's the minority of people that are in that segment.
Right.
Most people should be in a relationship that's at least halfway decent.
Right. Yes.
And you have two adults.
But it is, and also what you're talking about is as foreign as algebra is to a first grader. Because I feel like basics, people don't know how to apologize.
Yeah,
basics.
That's true.
Basics, most people don't know how to be humble.
Yeah.
Like basics.
So when you apologize, do you apologize?
Do you want me to tell you now how I've learned, how I've evolved?
Sure.
Because I've evolved. It's been 25 years. So I'm just kidding.
Tell me.
I still slip back sometimes.
Hey,
but
we all make mistakes.
When I'm doing it well, we'll role play for y'all and show you how I own when I do something wrong on a good day and how I apologize. So let's make up something.
Okay, let's say, again, you're scrolling. I'm looking at your phone. You're scrolling through pictures of Michael B. Jordan.
That never happened.
Why do all roads lead back to Michael B. Jordan?
And here's the thing. I'm off of him because he's no longer with Lori Harvey.
Wait. So there was a day, you're saying, that you were actually into him.
I was never into him.
That's what you just said.
Meaning,
you said, I'm off of him, which means there was a day you were into him.
I'm off of him, meaning I was really fascinated with him.
I'm just using your words.
Right.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
You're saying, I moved off of him now. Whoa. That means there was a time
attention to him and his girlfriend, who also was his fiance, because I was really fascinated by their relationship. But now she's in a completely different relationship, and I'm happy for her. But I see him with her. So I just really wanted it to work for them, and it didn't. Okay. I was fascinated with them as a couple.
So you're scrolling through pictures.
I don't.
And I catch you.
You don't.
Okay, all right. Yeah. No, so how about, I don't know.
We're going to practice.
You say something to me that this is great.
Are you going to give a real one?
Because this is something I've done to you.
Okay.
Too, okay. So
I don't know what's happening.
We've done this to each other.
We're off the rails right now.
This to each other.
None of this is scripted.
One day, this may have been on a Sunday.
Oh wow, we're giving real stuff.
Real quick.
This is real time.
Oneka falls asleep for a quick nap, and then I'm just scrolling on my phone. She wakes up, kind of,
sort of. Said I was being bossy?
Yeah. She wakes up and just like, did you? Can you go do? And she just throws out like these 7 things real fast. But she was just sleeping, but she didn't really want to fall asleep. She just kind of fell asleep. So she kind of woke up to like a list that was in her brain of things things I'm supposed to do. I'm there just chilling. I'm just like, it's peaceful right now. It's kind of coming down. We've worked out. Took my shower, ready for the night, gonna hang out with the kids, ready. And she just starts barking off like 7 things that I've got to do like right at that moment. But I was just chilling. And now I've done this too. Yeah. Like I've been like kind of sleeping. I kind of wake up. I'm like, hey, did you text so-and-so? And did you call so-and-so? And did you? And I list out 9 things. But you've been relaxing this whole time. But I'm like, I need you to do this stuff right now. Yeah. But I've been like falling in and out of a nap.
Right.
So this happened the other day. So she's, I feel, barking at me, okay?
Can you choose a different word from barking?
Okay.
Knocking on the door of your heart?
Intensely requesting that I do a to-do list that was not an emergency at all. So you are like, you're intense. Like, this got to get done. When again, I just been... I'm like, I'm coming down. Yeah. I'm relaxing. And then you kind of turn, I'm like, can you, did you, how about that? I'm like, okay.
I don't know what's happening right now, you guys. I really
Honey,
don't
that's
know.
How it felt. I'm just saying that's how it felt.
You're exaggerating. I know that, you're
it's
exaggerating.
a little exaggeration.
Okay, yeah.
Slight exaggeration.
Like my dad, who said I was Asian. But
that was not a slight exaggeration. That was a lie.
I am going to take another test, but that's for another day.
So... you do that, and I'm like, honey, you just kind of, I won't use the word barking.
Coming at you.
You're coming at me kind of aggressively here.
Right.
And again, you're half asleep, half awake, so that's probably not even the right time to bring that up.
Right.
But I'll say later on, we talk and say, hey, I come to you peacefully and calmly and respectfully, because that's how I do. Oh. And so I come to you and I say, hey, when you were coming out of that nap, you were saying all this stuff to me, and it really felt like you were coming at me kind of hard. I felt a little disrespected, and I know that was not your intention, but that is definitely what I felt. I love you a ton, but I just wanted to let you know.
And then what do I say back?
Yeah, with your apology.
This is good. This is real time.
Okay.
This really did happen. Mm-hmm. So I would say, because now I'm evolving and I'm getting better at my apologies.
She's working on her words right now.
Out to myself.
She's not sure how to apologize. Is that why are you stalling?
No, I'm not stalling.
You're trying to get the words right in your head?
I'm bringing everyone on the journey.
Get this right, Oneka. Get this right, Oneka.
I'm bringing everyone on the journey. So I'm so sorry that I was not kind to you when I woke up from my nap. And I'm so sorry if anything that I said made you feel like I was talking down to you. And my passion for my running to-do list, I'm sorry if it took you out of your state of where you were at peace and I interrupted your peace.
Nailed it.
That's an apology.
That's boom. Then I would say, thank you so much for saying that. Can we make love tonight? That would be my next thing that I would throw in.
Yeah.
Because when she's like open and like so vulnerable and honest, let me just throw it in there real quick. And then she's like, of course, honey, because
you're my king.
Oneka's getting uncomfortable right now.
Because I never know what he's going to say. I literally never know where this conversation is going to go.
No, that is not the time maybe I might throw that in there as a joke, just sowing seeds into the future. But that was a beautiful apology. Thank you so much. Again, we're just talking about making sure we're learning how to navigate the practicals.
Yep. Yeah.
These are things that are necessary.
Talking about apology, and we'll talk some more, in other conversations, other episodes. But also what I've learned, and I'm still learning, is you still say sorry, even if you don't agree that what you did should hurt that person's feelings.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah, that's good.
Because some people give their apology is costly. So if they're going to give it to you, it needs to matter to them too. So sometimes people don't want to apologize because they're like, you shouldn't even be upset about that. Oh. So I'm not going to give you an apology is like a 50 or 100 to someone.
Oh yeah.
They're like, I'll give you $1, I'll give you a quarter, but I'm not about to give you a 50. Like, and a 50 is,
by me apologizing,
I'm not giving you
this
a 50
really cost a lot.
Exactly. So it better really, mean something. And not this trivial thing. I'm not going to apologize for that.
I think that's the Enneagram 8 talking.
That's where most people live, though, is what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. And so I think that there's an art to how to apologize correctly.
That's really good.
And it's not...
The value is not... You don't put the value in your own apology. The value is in the other person's feelings and how you can serve and encourage and help and bless them.
Because sometimes to the person, it feels so little. It feels so like,
why
is that upsetting you? Like, you shouldn't even be upset about that, which is where most people live. Mm-hmm. And so then they don't apologize because they think, why should you even be upset about that?
Or it's like something random like, oh, you thought I was going to be home, but I stayed at the gym a little bit longer because I'm playing basketball or something like that. And you didn't know I was going to be there that long. Right. But you don't know that I played the first game, lost the first game. So since I lost the first game, now I got to wait like 4 games to go play again. And I don't want to just play 1 game. I want to play at least 2 games. So now I'm waiting. So you didn't know I was going to be home that late. You're like, Earl, I didn't know you were going to be home this late.
Yeah.
I wish you would have texted me. And I was like, I didn't.
Yeah.
Not that I would respond like that, but it's just, I think it could seem small to somebody else. Like, it's just a text. It's not a big deal. But if it matters to you, and since our relationship matters to me, I'll let that matter to me.
Exactly.
And I'm not going to do it flippantly or disrespectfully. I want to lean into that and go, hey, I hear you. Sorry about that. Next time I'll make sure I text you so you can know what's going on. So we can be on the same page.
And I would say to that situation, also include your spouse in, you thought I was going to be here an hour. I'm going to be here 2.5 hours. Does that work for what you have planned for the rest of the night? Mm-hmm. I think that would save couples a ton of arguments.
For sure.
But I think we will continue this conversation in the future too, talking about how to disagree, how to apologize,
all of
how
that.
To should you walk out of a room? Should you throw something?
No.
Should you raise your voice?
Slam
all those things.
Doors or,
we want to just teach y'all what we've been learning.
What about cuss people out? Let's talk about all of that.
Yeah, we've been talking about all that again because I think we could do some layered talk on this.
Let's do it.
Because I don't feel like people have the tools.
For sure. Well, where do you get them?
Exactly.
You're going to get them from TV?
Exactly.
Well, that's not the best place to go to learn this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Some of us had great examples with our parents.
And
that's
I wonder
good.
if people had conversations like the one we're having right now, that relationships, the tension, the drama, the trauma, this could prevent so much of that.
Yes.
For sure.
Yep, for sure. We'll dig into it.
Part 2. Yeah.
Well, listen, we love you all so much.
Let me say one last thing before we say goodbye.
Uh-huh.
I do appreciate that, even because sometimes Earl will have something that he wants to bring to me, but he doesn't have the words for it yet. So sometimes what you do, which I know it sounds like over spiritual, but it actually does protect the peace in our home. And you don't always do this.
Yeah. I'm trying to get better at making this a habit.
But sometimes you'll go pray, and then you'll write it out in your journal. Like, as you're praying, God will help you figure out why you're upset.
Yeah.
So then by the time you bring it to me, you have words. He has words to his feelings.
Because it might not just be that, you were, I don't know, I felt like you were coming at me when we were, when you woke up from that nap. It might not actually be that.
Right.
It might be, I have actually some other things running through my head and my heart that are really bothering me.
Yep.
And just when you came at me, it's easy thing for me to point at.
Yeah.
But the deeper thing for me to point at is, hey, I actually really been bothered or stressed by X, Y, or Z, or I've been thinking about these other 4 things. I haven't even brought that to you. This has been swimming around in my head. So that just kind of pushed me over the edge.
Right.
So I don't like how you said that, but I also want you to know, can you be praying about this stuff that I'm navigating?
And
that brings us closer together.
And that's like college level, being in touch with your feelings. And right now you could feel like I'm in high school with my feelings. You know, I'm petty. I just say
elementary
stuff.
school.
Yeah, and I just say stuff. I don't know how to guard my mouth. Like, that's why we're on this journey together. We want to share with you. We're not pros. We're not experts. We're literally just sharing with you real time stuff that we're learning in our relationship, and we hope it helps your relationship.
Yeah, for sure. That was beautiful. Thank you so much. And just so you know, you are the best. You do an awesome job apologizing. There's no better wife than you. I'm so thankful for you. Love how you lead, serve, help, encourage, bless, all of it. You are creme de la creme. Hands down. All right. Hey, we love you guys. We're praying for you, praying that God will do great things in your heart and your life. And we'll come back with another podcast here soon.
See you later.
Bye. Bye.